Guys, I have to talk about this thing. Now I'm feeling that I'm completely charged, I'm completely changed, and I'm just somehow feeling every single person out there. There's somehow feeling, kind of a vibration without me sounding too sketchy or too woohoo with this whole thing. But what I'm feeling is that I'm just feeling. So this is how I would like to describe this thing, and just kind of how everyone is around me. The world is just somehow open. I don't really have these worries anymore, and I'm just simply more focused on something that is deep inside of me, and the purpose, the living thing that is inside of me. And brothers and sisters, without me sounding to be too woohoo, I'm talking about meditation, as you would guess already up to this point. And I really wanted to extend on this topic because for a very long time I was a huge meditator. I was meditating 40 minutes every single day, at least. Nowadays I'm meditating before bed, but that definitely doesn't have that effect of meditating either in the morning, either throughout your day. Yeah, you're sleeping better, for being honest, but meditating throughout the day or in the morning has a completely different effect. So with that being said, pretty much meditation regarding to the when you are doing that has different effects, but it pretty much boils down to the same thing, which is not only mental clarity, but I would say emotional clarity and an overall calmness with your being. So what does that mean is that, hey, I'm just feeling good with myself. Not necessarily good, but complete, fulfilled. And so initially what I wanted to talk about is that, again, this is super deterministic. When are you doing that? And today I was doing this in the morning, and also I was fasting, which I'm about to break, so it will be a 24 hours fast. And so basically what happened over here is that I just meditated in the morning, and I just felt so damn connected with myself. Like, there's no need for pushing and pulling to those directions. And I also had this huge overarching feeling that some feelings are just coming off from out of me. And yes, so with meditation, brothers and sisters, we can really and honestly connect with ourselves. And many times, the truth being said, that we are just simply looking towards a solution, quote unquote solution, where we are eventually can get to that place, or we are just trying to we are just simply getting off path. And off path meaning that we're just simply not feeling ourselves, we're just simply feeling lost. And so most of those times, meditation is perhaps the one thing that we are looking for. And what I'm saying to you that is that I was lost for so many times, and I just pretty much have the tendency to eventually the tool of how I'm dealing with my problems is that I'm trying to solve them. Perhaps most of the adult humans are trying to do this way, especially man. And so what I've got to realize is that with meditation, it's like it's just somehow this emotional thing that is not solved is just simply getting solved. Because this is also another super important thing that I've been blessed to realize, is that I just simply have an underlying emotional problem, meaning that I just simply have something that is coming up with me, which is initially present in my body as a form of an emotion. And so if I'm just simply somehow able to solve, quote unquote, solve that emotion, then I will be just simply at this place of, hey, I'm good. And so let me tell you an example. So 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, I just came back to my flat here in the city where I'm living, and I was living with 2 other guys back then because of financial and many other purposes. And I just simply got back, and I was like, hey, my little money is pretty much all good. I'm good with this whole thing. Everything is all good. And what I've got to realize is that so I was keeping my money, my flat money, in my desk, and so obviously the rooms were not closed. I mean the doors of the rooms. And I just simply got back that one of my flatmates back then, not only that did he left and pretty much screwed us with the next month's payment to be covered by him, which we obviously solved, not that way, but anyways, but he pretty much stole my money. And so that money back then was my whole month's rent. And back then that was a lot of money for me, because business wasn't going that going that good back then. And so what pretty much happened is that I was like, man, I can't really believe that, like this was New Year's Eve. I was about to like head towards a new start and just grow with this thing. And man, I just like got this thing, and I just just got back, and I was like hungry and kind of had to do many things, and I was also tired because I was I didn't really sleep properly, and so on and so forth. So long story short, pretty much what happened is that I was like, man, I don't really know what to do. And I was like, okay, let's just sit down and meditate. And so I could remember that I was meditating for 1.5 hours, and man, everything just so much aligned, and I just got such a different perspective on life with that session. Is that unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, that's completely, totally unbelievable. And so with that being said, many times we are all about to, and me especially throughout my last season of my life, I'm all about to act, always like push, grind, go. And why is that the key for building skill? And skill is necessary for us to progress. Although on the other hand, without us being on a proper direction, the life is a fucking struggle. Excuse me for the language, but I cannot find softer words to explain this. Life is a fucking suffering that way, because you're just acting and doing something that you freaking hate. And so many times I'm just finding myself. So for example, this is also another super meditative idea over here: business. Currently, how I'm generating my leads, basically my future customers in my business, which is a solar appointment marketing setting marketing agency, is that I'm just simply calling people, and I'm setting up appointments with them, then I'm closing them. So basically my lead generation method is cold calling. And I was like, man, I'm so sick and tired of this whole cold calling game. Like I'm just getting all this noise, all this negative energy, but not necessarily that, but I'm just simply feeling super caught up with this thing, because I have to do this in a different time zone, and this just fucked up my whole system and my clock and everything, and it's just like a huge jag. I'm just living it as a huge jag. And I was like, man, brother, like you've been grinding for 2 months, and now you got this blessing of you eventually having this system, so why don't you outsource? And I was like, man, like, are you stupid? So today basically I woke up, and this was my first thing. So basically I was working out the script properly. I was shooting the materials for the people who I will be hiring, and those guys will be very good, because hey, they will be calling 6-8 hours a day. That will be their job. And they will be making decent money in their back to their country's wage. So basically so they can make very easily six, not only 6, but maybe even $8 or $10 an hour, which in a third world countries is very super good. So with that being said, this is just an idea, like, okay, like you don't want, okay, but like you still have to solve that problem. Like this is how I solve that. And so these little tiny things, like we don't really think about that, but like we're just so much in the acting. And when we just simply get our times to actually sit down and meditate, then we just simply get that direction. Like, hey, is that important? No. But what the freaking hell am I doing now? And all these problems that you do have inside of your head, then just getting solved. So this is about meditation, and whether you believe it or not, this is a life changer, and this is how it is a life changer. So hope that you get a chance to experience it over and over again. Love.